Yo, what is going on, guys? Alpha Garden here, and today we're back with another video. Now in today's video we're going to be going over 5 tips of how you can improve in Trials of Osiris. Now these 5 tips can help make any bad player become good, any good player become better, anything. And now before we start off with this video, just remember that no matter how bad or no matter what your KD is or no matter how many falls you get a week, there is always room for improvement, and that you can always become better than you already are. And also, this is not going to be a technical thing like where you can switch your switch around your scuff, like get to buy a new scuff controller or buy a better system or monitor or whatever. That's not going to be that kind of stuff. It's going to be kind of stuff that you can do in game, that you can do right now, right at this moment. So let's go right into it. Tip number 1 is pretty simple, but settings. You really want to find the settings that best fits you. A lot of people play on 10 sensitivity. A lot of people play on 7. I personally like 7 because it's really easy to hit your shots, especially with I have drift on my controller, so it makes it a lot easier for me. But finding your sensitivity is a huge one. You definitely want to make sure you have the best sensitivity for your playstyle. Everybody chooses different playstyles, so if someone's using 10, don't be discouraged. But if you're using 8, like, oh, they got a higher number, they can do better with sensitivity, that is not the issue. That is not the case at all. Play the sensitivity that best works for you. Tip number 2 is finding your best loadout. And that one's going to be kind of a tricky one because it really goes with your best playstyle. So let's call this tip number 2, best loadout and best playstyle. That's really 2 in 1. But anyways, finding your best loadout is really hard because the meta is always changing. There's always something that's better than this. There's always a super that's better than that. So what I highly suggest is finding a 120 or 140 hand cannon and using a shotgun to start off. Sniping, you really want to get advanced into trials because there's angles you want to peek in trials. You really got to hit those snipes. You can't really waste your shots. So I highly suggest starting off with a shotgun or even a fusion rifle. Even though I hate fusion rifles, but I love to use them sometimes. Can't go wrong with the good old Axel's Curse or Bastion. But yeah, that's tip number 2, is finding your best loadout and playstyle. Now your playstyle can consist of multiple things. You can be a passive player, you can be an aggressive player, you can be a shotgun ape, you can be a sniper, you can be a hand cannon man. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of different playstyles you can use, but find whichever one's best for you. So go into Clash, think of a playstyle you want to play as, and just play as it that entire match and see how well you do. Tip number 3 is finding your team. Now, I hate when people come into my chat and say, hey, who wants to play Trials? Who wants to add me? Of course, I'm going to shout them out, tell them their PSN or Xbox or PC thing so they can go find some friends. But I highly suggest not doing this because you really want to find friends that you know that you've played with before. I don't like suggesting going to LFG. That's probably your last resort if you really want to, really desperate to go play for Trials or just do it for bounties, sure. But if you're going for a flawless, you definitely want to find a team you have good chemistry with. Now, if you don't know what chemistry is basically the way each player plays, their play styles, and how you all work together. Because Trials is a team thing. It is a very team thing, and you definitely want to work together. It's not something you just want to, oh, I'll just ape the entire match, and I don't care what my other teammates are doing. You really want to make sure you're teaming, team shooting everything you can, getting the reses, making call-outs, making sure you have good chemistry with your team, because if you don't have good chemistry with your team, then you're not going to go very far. If you guys do see, sometimes I play with a random team from my chat, we don't do very well because we don't have good chemistry. So that's tip number 3, is get good chemistry with your team or find a good team. For tip number 4 that I can highly suggest is mindset or map memorization. I'm not telling you to go into Quizlet and just start memorizing the map or go into privates and start memorizing the maps. But what I'm really trying to tell you here is learn the angles. Angles are key in Destiny 2, and they can really save your life, especially with a sniper or even a hand cannon. I know I've killed thousands of people because I've had an angle that's better than them. Like, I can see more of them than they can see of me, and it turns out to be really good on my part, but really bad on their part. So you really want to make sure you know the map too, so when you're running away from a super, you know which ways to go, which ways to juke them, and best way is just to run around the map and Maybe even learn some glitch spots is on the map. I'm never against glitch spots. They're part of Destiny. It is on Bungie's fault that they haven't patched them, but you know, if they're there, use them. Use them to your advantage. They're there for you to use until they at least are patched. And for tip number 5, probably the most important one that you may not see me having as much, but is have fun. Trials, again, is just a game mode. It's not the end of the world if you lose. Hey, if you get sweated on, that's just the game. There's always going to be somebody that's better than you. You're never going to be the top of the world. Don't let your ego go too high, because there's always someone out there that's better than you, and always is competition against you, and it's always hard to beat them. So make sure you just have fun. If you just go around and memeing with your friends, or you can go in sweating, like try-harding super hard with your teammates and just have a fun time. As you can see, if you ever watch my streams with me and my friends play, we're just memeing around and we end up getting the follows because we're just having fun. We're trying to focus on the game, but we're just having fun. This is just a video game. Don't get too much bent out about it. And another side note to this one is don't worry about your KD, the way things people say about you. You say you say you're trash or not. Don't worry about those things, because those things will put you down, and then you just become worse, and then it's just a mess once people put you down, because you just don't think you're good enough, and then you don't want to try anymore. You're always room for improvement, and you're always going to be able to become better, and you can always become better. You just got to put enough time and designation to the game. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, put on notifications for new streams, and I'll see you guys all in the next stream. Peace out.